But I go back, the feeling I have now, I think about the feeling I had when I just knew I was going to spend the night over Mrs. Miller's house. And I didn't know why I knew that, but I just knew it. And then other things transpired where I kind of stopped going to school. I just started helping her and skipping school. And I could have gotten a lot of trouble for that, but I wasn't, for some reason, I still was led to do what I did. And it all worked out. It all worked out. But that's how I feel now. I feel like I don't feel motivated to like that getting a job is the most important thing. I really have a sense of that things are literally about to change. They are about to change, and having a job is not going to be important. That's not going to be important. There's something spiritual that's about to happen. That's what I have in my spirit. And it's, again, it's not something that logically I'm thinking. It's something in my spirit that I just have a knowing. And it's just more of a, I don't even feel any kind of motivation. Like I feel like that I'm coming to an end. Now, whether it's just me individually are going to be coming to an end or collectively the system's coming to an end, I don't know. But all I know is I just have a feeling of finality, of things not going on the way that they continue to be going on.
And we need to be spiritually prepared, equipped for what's coming, because whatever's coming is coming in like a flood. You understand? And we ain't seen nothing yet. It's some stuff that's coming. And it said 10 p.m., so it's something about this number 10. You said we're in the 10th year, 2026. That could also mean that, because I seen the number 10. We're in the 10th year, 2026 equals 10. Yep, which means the reset. 10 represents reset. That's what I do know. It represents reset. So everything is finna be reset. It's finna be a great reset again.
So a lot of you have been telling me to check out a clip about Jim Carrey saying that he met a homeless person in 2020, and this homeless person said to him that the world will end in 2026, but said it to him directly when he was just out in public, which was quite strange. And obviously, with everything that's happened with Jim Carrey, is it a coincidence? Who knows? But let's watch the clip.
Seriously ride a bike? I do ride a bike, and I get out so early sometimes. I walk or I ride a bike, and I get out so early that I'm sometimes it's just me and the homeless people in Beverly Hills. And,
That's it.
The other day I walked, this guy came up to me and he said, "Hey, you're Jim Carrey, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Got a new movie coming out, I heard." And I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "Well, enjoy it, because the world's going to end in 2026.
2026.
Try to get your kicks."
Yeah.
This guy came up to me and he said, "Well, enjoy it, because the world's going to end in 2026.
Published in 1997. It's The Fourth Turning. This book was written by William Strauss and Neil Howe, and it argues that American history unfolds in recurring 80-year cycles, each ending in a period that has upheaval, and they call that the crisis. So these authors are also known for coining the term millennials. They predicted that this era would culminate in a dramatic resolution around 2026. So people look at this and they're already saying, well, this matches everything that started to unfold out of 2000 with lockdowns, everything that we went through. It affected the economy, and things have been affected ever since then. They say that a resolution comes 6 years later after this type of an event, and that puts us at 2026. What comes after that, they say, is basically it's the reset. Some attention now being brought to a decades-old book that claims history repeats itself, and that it does so in predictable cycles. And it's drawing fresh attention here because of its prediction about 2026. They say that a resolution comes 6 years later after this type of an event, and that puts us at 2026. What comes after that, they say, is basically it's the reset of everything. And there's a well-known famous economic graph out there that shows that 2026 is a year to have one of these events happen.
Apparently, Christmas in 2025 was our last Christmas. Our president, Donald J. Trump, posted and said, "This is going to be our last Merry Christmas." Now, he could be talking about anything, but I jumped down that rabbit hole, and he's not the only person saying it. Look at this shit.
So, I didn't think this was true. Check this out. Hey, Alexa, how many days until Christmas 2026?
There aren't any Christmas holidays in 2026.
What? And I thought maybe that was a mistake. Maybe Alexa just said that because of a calendar issue. And then I seen this video right here.
Y'all,
Listen to this shit right
I
here.
want y'all to listen to this, okay?
Pay attention.
Alexa, how many days until Thanksgiving 2026?
Thanksgiving Day in 2026 is 334 days away, on Thursday, November 26th.
Okay.
Alexa, how many days until Christmas 2026?
There aren't any Christmas holidays in
Why is that?
2026.
So Alexa just said something she was absolutely not supposed to say. Now we heard the president say it. Then we heard AI say it.
A 1,000 people dead in 4 days. The hottest day France has ever recorded. The Eiffel Tower closing its own doors against the heat. A football player drowned trying to cool off in the river. Scientists say nights this hot are now 100 times more likely than 20 years ago. The sky itself has turned into a weapon. The sky itself has turned into a weapon.
You know, they getting burned up, and a lot of them is killing off these animals because they're not natural to the planet. You cannot clone, you know, things that's not natural. You cannot make people conform and coerce them into a dietary system that's not natural. Because like I told you, you got a natural people. You got natural people living in an unnatural system, because that's what a Luciferian government is. It goes against nature. So like I said, you propagating unnatural science, unnatural history, unnatural education system, unnatural dietary system. Everything has to go because it doesn't thrive on a solar government. You know what I'm saying? The verification period of the lunar doctrine has phased out, right? So we're going back to the inception of the matriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rod Hayes. And when you're talking about we're going back to Big Mama's house. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, everything unnatural to the planet has to go. Everything unnatural has to go. So now when you're talking about the fake religion, we got that out the way. Now, when you're talking about red horse, right? This is basically the symbology of the second seal, right? Because everything on the planet, this is basically, like she said right there, Beyonce turns up the heat. This is the Aquarian age. So a lot, like I said, everything unnatural has to go. You know what I'm saying? The heat is burning everything that's unnatural to the planet. Is getting, you know what I'm saying? Everything's being eradicated, basically. So now, I'm going to show you some stuff about the red horse here. So like I said, the red color of horse is a symbol of blood, and it's a symbol of war. Time is clear and prophesied by Christ. Even though I'm propagating, you know, biblical context, you know, there's truth in, you know, the Bible is basically a Freemasonic playbook for mankind. You know what I'm saying? It's mixed with truth and lies, which makes it a Luciferian society. So, you know, there's a little bit of gems, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible, but a lot of people don't understand the Bible. They don't comprehend the Bible because they read it like a children's book, because people have the minds of children. So they tell you, you know, in increments about what's going to happen, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to prophetic events, especially in the book of Revelations, because the book of Revelations was a book that was added. It wasn't naturally, you know, it wasn't connected to the Bible at one point in time. So when you're talking about the second seal and red horse in Revelation 6, 3, and 4, right? Like I said, this is the seal. Yes, a symbol of blood, and the sword, symbol of war. What is the war? Nature. Nature is eradicating everything that's unnatural. That's the war. This is a spiritual war. This is a metaphysical war. What is the war? Nature. Nature is eradicating everything that's unnatural. That's the war. This is a spiritual war. This is a metaphysical war. What is the war? Nature. Nature is eradicating everything that's unnatural. That's the war. This is a spiritual war. This is a metaphysical war, right? So like I said, this is the great sword, and the great sword separates things. This is the great separation, the unnatural from the natural. The great separation, the unnatural from the natural. You also had Donald Trump. He signed the Second Declaration of Independence, basically, you know what I'm saying, usurping the power from the Democratic agenda, because it's by universal law that they got to do this. Because the Second Declaration of Independence only applies to those who are natural to the planet.
This is Dabu 7, and you were looking at flooding in Kentucky, where a state of emergency has been declared. We have multiple victims in this event here as the floodwaters continue to rise in areas that people were not expecting it. They also had to cancel multiple events, an ongoing festival in Kentucky, because the water just kept coming down and kept rising. It seemed like it had nowhere to go or to run off. And you could see the vehicles stuck in major waterways here. I mean, feet of water. Took a lot of people by surprise. It may not be over. And with this weather warfare, we're going to have to keep our eyes on what's going on big time. We also have a serious emergency out west. And you can see just how widespread these western wildfires are. Multiple states, Utah getting hit big time. This goes all the way down into Arizona, and anyone living around this, you know what's going on, because you can see the skies are darkened and these fires continue to billow. Hopefully, as these things are getting closer to homes, they get these fires in check. And the footage just showing the high winds are fueling this.
What is the war? Nature. Nature is eradicating everything that's unnatural. That's the war. This is a spiritual war. This is a metaphysical war. What is the war? Nature. Nature is eradicating everything that's unnatural. That's the war. This is a spiritual war. This is a metaphysical war.
The sky itself has turned into a weapon. The sky itself has turned into a weapon.